The influence of linguistics on language learning. With the development of linguistics, the approach to teaching a language has changed. Before the development of linguistics, the study of a language meant the history of development of a language rather than how it was currently spoken, read, and written. The the lecture or the topic particularly you are having on Mentor English, Professor M.A. Raza, myself, motivational speaker, leadership business coach, master trainer, language trainer, vlogger, novelist, Professor M.A. Raza. So let's do the further, or let's complete the particular research or the answer of the question, the influence of language on the influence of linguistics on language learning. So let me repeat from start again. With the development of linguistics, the approach to teaching a language has changed. Before the development of linguistics, the study of a language meant the history of a development of language rather than how it was currently spoken, read, and written. The approach to teaching a second language was grammar translation approach or reading method. Bloomfield, the pioneer linguist, was the first to attack on this method. He pointed out the importance of a spoken language. He analyzed the spoken language and recommended the use of spoken forms in teaching languages. Bloomfield had pointed out that each language consists of certain sounds. These sounds are produced by human organs. The organs of speech are lungs, bronchial tubes, throat, including larynx, vulva, hard and uh, soft palate, tongue, teeth, and lips. The following diagram gives an idea of these organs. Nasal cavity, alveolar ridge, had a hard palate, soft palate, and vulva or pharynx, epiglottis, and lips, teeth, tip, blade, front, back, the areas of tongue, esophagus, trachea, larynx, vocal cord, organs of speech, schemati diagram. So the unit of sound of a language is known as phoneme. The phoneme may have various forms. The language is nothing but a combination of sound produced by these organs. The speech sounds are therefore organized noises. The sounds produced by these organs are named according to the method of production and point of articulation. In each language, the phonemes, the basic unit of sound with its variant forms, allophones, and its combinations are limited. For the practical purpose, it necessary that phonemes be easily distinguishable, and for this reason, the number of phonemes in any language is limited. Let me repeat this particular passage for you, that is very much important. The unit of sounds of a language is known as phoneme. The phonemes may have various forms. The language is nothing but combination of sounds produced by these organs. The speech sounds are therefore organized noises. The sounds produced by these organs are named according to the method of production and point of articulation. In each language, the phonemes, the basic unit of sound with its variant forms, allophones, and its combinations are limited. For the practical purpose, it's necessary that phonemes be easily distinguishable, and for this reason, the number of phonemes in any language is limited. The other feature of the language is structure. The simplest unit of structure is morpheme. A morpheme there is a spelling mistake. The first morpheme is okay, MORPHEME. The second word MAR, there is a spelling mistake. So please careful of it. That might be when my editor was sliding and take the slides or creating the slides, there might be a composing mistake has been occurred. Is any word or part of a word used as an affix or combining form that conveys meaning and cannot be further subdivided into smaller elements conveying meaning? Each linguistic sound has a meaning. It stands for something, but the meaning change with the way words are used. Other features of the language are intonation, pause, and stress. These are called suprasegmental phoneme. The meaning of linguistic forms depends upon the arrangement of these forms. These form, as pointed out earlier, the learning of a language does not look as confusing and frightening if you understand that any language has only a limited number of sounds and a definite structure which may be different from your own language. Understanding this very characteristics well makes learning easier. The teachers are advised to learn what organs are used in producing English sounds, how the various sounds are combined to convey some sense, and the basic structures of sentences. The practice of these makes both learning and teaching easy. If you want to develop the ability to use English language to convey thoughts, intentions, wishes, and information, you would need mastery of various elements. These are individual sounds which are related to one another in utterance by structure. The grammar of a language in respect of the written language. The written symbols that represent the spoken words are also involved. You must not forget that there are various skills involved in the mastery of language. These may be classified as respective skills: listening, spoken language, and reading, understanding of written language, and productive skills, speaking and writing. These skills involve a further element of selecting or relevant language for the situation concerned. As a teacher of English, you will need to exercise your judgment to decide what skills should be taught to your pupils. The choice of skills would naturally depends upon the purpose for which you are teaching English. That is why you must have a clear understanding of the purpose for which you are teaching this language. Again, for mastery of English, the patterns of this language must be mastered. Just teaching rules of grammar does not help in mastering structures. Rules of grammar are like scaffolding a new building. The scaffolding are removed as soon as the building is complete. The best way to master patterns is continuous and systematic practice. It is better to teach phrases, idioms, and colloquial usage in context without analyzing their structure. The example of these are given for your help: very good, very bad, repeat, altogether, see you, etc. If you use pardon me, if you use these continuously, they are learned without much effort. So now the important activities which are concerned with this particular topic: try sounding alphabets of English and note with what organs of speech are helping in producing these sounds. Point 2: look into the mirror while pronouncing these words. You can look at the organs of speech in action. Point 3: Pardon me. Bring me my coffee. Point three. Point three. Pronounce some Urdu sounds like fa and gha, yani fe or gha, and note the difference in the working of organs. Point four, write down from where these sounds are being produced. Point number five, try to classify different English phonemes according to the organs that are helping in producing them. So it was the topic, and we have discussed all the details and particular activities which is being produced in this particular topic. And I will definitely give you the particular topic in Urdu medium on Murshid Urdu Professor M. Raza. So let me go now and say with me: do something more for humanity, do something more for knowledge and practices, and must subscribe and hit the bell icon. Have a good day. Bye bye.